Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Comstock's channel, accelerating basically the commercialization of decarbonization. And joining us to give us a high-level overview of the company, a little bit of its history and some milestone expectations, we have Corrado, the CEO, joining us. First and foremost, welcome, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure having you on. So I want to dive into this for newer audiences. I mean, whether it's fuels, metals, or mining, you have a broad focus with the company. Do you want to kind of break down exactly what you're doing there and what's going on under the hood at Comstock?
Absolutely. I mean, originally, the legacy of the company was we consolidated an entire historic gold and silver mining district, right? So that in itself was pretty exciting when you put together 10 square miles of real estate, build infrastructure, water systems, roads, permits, and actually prove out, the gold and silver resources. We paused that about 5 years ago when the prices were lower. They've now exploded, right? So $2,300 gold and $30 silver has gotten us extremely excited about, going back into that. But in the intermediate time, we really changed the strategy to focus on accelerating the commercialization of these new technologies, right? Decarbonizing technologies, hard technologies, if you will, that can literally make an impact, invert the curve, and really get the climate change and energy transition going. In that regard, we acquired technologies for recycling electrification products, where we can take solar panels primarily, but also batteries, fuel cells, and reuse 100% of those materials. That's a quite extraordinary business because there's an environmental service going on. You're taking waste materials, keeping them out of landfills, but then you're literally reusing all the materials. So you get paid up front and you get paid in the back as well. Maybe even more dramatically, we invested in a low carbon fuel technology, which takes waste wood. And I mean waste wood from lumber mills, waste wood from sugarcane mills, waste wood from pulp and paper mills, and taking that lignin and cellulose waste content and grabbing that carbon and making sustainable aviation fuel, renewable diesel, gasoline, green chemicals. Our breakthroughs have resulted in the highest yielding, lowest carbon solutions in the market, and we're commercializing rapidly.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the insight. It's actually relatively fascinating. And when we come back, I want to expand on it a lot farther, but maybe let's look a little bit more forward here. Just for newer audiences, investors that are a little bit more intrigued into kind of like a timeline. What's going on this year? Do you guys have any critical milestones coming up?
Tremendous milestone. So first and foremost, we just started the commissioning of our first photovoltaic solar panels, if you will, recycling center, and we've just proven the ability to recapture all of the silicon glass, all of the aluminum and copper, and now we're finding high grade silver content in the remaining fines. So we're using all that. The milestones for this year is scaling from a commercial profitable demonstration facility to an industry scale facility of 100,000 tons per year. And remarkably, the market is about 100,000 tons this year, projected to be 1 million tons by 2030. So we have an early lead in getting out with this one of a kind facility, and we just want to build as many of them as we can to capture this market. But the first industry scale one, we're permitting it this year, and we're operating the demonstration scale this year. The other milestone there would be just capturing very large utility companies, very large solar fields, very large customers.
Now, roll back for me a little bit, just out of curiosity. What led up to that aha moment? How did you kind of get involved going down this path?
That's a great question, Kyle. Like we sort of jumped into the euphoria of lithium-ion battery recycling like everybody else, and what we found was A, it's quite complex. B, getting to actually battery grade materials is very difficult. We were doing a really good job, but it wasn't easy. And then C, there wasn't that many batteries really coming onto the market yet. The EVs are just sort of hitting the road. And then we were looking for one last step to perfect our process, which was the ability to eliminate these laminates, these plastics, these glues. They were the sort of the nasty part of this puzzle that we were struggling to perfect. When we found that tech, the chemist who had invented it and who was operating it in a different line of business suggested we take a look at solar panels. And to be honest with you, I was like, what? You know, nothing sexy about solar panels. He said, there's a massive amount of them coming out of the market. They're coming out way earlier than anybody predicted, and nobody's doing it. Plus, the materials are inert and much safer. So we pivoted. So after about a year and a half of development of our system, we pivoted, incorporated his tech into our system, and we're up and running within a year. So very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. At this point, we will come back and dive obviously deeper into the story, but we'll pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below, and consider subscribing as News and Catalyst hit the wire. Of course, we'll bring it to you here. But on that note, we look forward to catching you in the next one.